So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good. I mean, I saw Overlord, it was a while ago now, but I think the intensity of Overlord, whenever I see you, still comes back. So what was it like for you to be on something where it's pretty intense?
It was amazing. I think it was an experience that I was really excited to be a part of and to earn. From day one, just getting the earlier draft of the script, I knew that it was something that I wanted to be involved in just because it's JJ, and I had done projects with Paramount before, and I really liked the studio, and I was excited to get to work with a director that I wasn't familiar with. So, I mean, it was just a mixture of opportunities just put into one that I knew I wanted to get involved in, so I was really lucky.
And now, okay, tell me a little bit about working with practical effects, because I mean, like I said earlier, it was very intense, but we're watching it from our, the comfort of our seats.
Right.
What was it like for you to not necessarily deal with so much CGI, but like see everything there?
It was a challenge, I think, but it was something that I feel was absolutely necessary, because if you're able to use practical effects, I think that it really helps with the performance. I think when you're dealing with extreme circumstances when it comes to horror or sci-fi or like action thrillers, it can be really difficult to act to nothing. You know what I mean? I know that that's another form of acting when you're dealing with green screen and things like that, but that can be really kind of like a restraint on the actor's imagination, or maybe a test to his imagination, I don't know. But I was really lucky in the way that if there was something I was supposed to be running from, or jumping onto, or off of, that I had the opportunity to actually do so if it was safe enough. So I think it helped all of the actors to really get to where they needed to be for the emotional tones of the story.
Well, see, and now I'm wondering, if you have those pieces of equipment on set, would anyone just randomly scare you while you were, on your downtime?
I think everybody needed to have moments of like joking around and stuff, especially with the really intense scenes. Yeah. There's a moment that I can remember. I don't know if they showed it in the film, but there's like this little tub of like body parts. I don't think it's seen in the film, but there's a tub that's there, kind of like in the ambiance of things. One of the VFX guys actually made like a toe move.
Ew.
And I didn't realize that he was doing it, and I was kind of like resting in between takes, resting my head on the little tub, and then like the water just started moving, and I looked up and like the toe was moving, and I freaked out a little bit. But after like the 10th time I've been doing it, I got used to it, and I was like, yeah, it's not creeping me out anymore. But it took me longer than I would like to admit. But I'm very gullible and I scare easy, so.
No, I mean, that's great for everyone else too.
Absolutely.
Now, you come from a military, family. How did that really impact your performance?
Just, I guess, being well informed about I guess the mindset of a young man going into the military. My dad, he served in the Air Force, and two of my best friends, childhood friends who I'm still friends with now, they're both involved in the military as well. And so I use that as kind of like a soundboard, just trying to understand what it's like to be away from home and to be in a circumstance where you could lose your life, and just having a sense of duty. So I think it was something that was necessary for me to learn about, just so that I was bringing a true element and a genuine feeling of fear, but also determination and I guess a naive sense to this character.
Yeah. So I've seen you work also in Sorry for Your Loss. So, going from a role like that to, your role here, I've seen, a lot of drama that you can bring to the table. Is there anything you'd like to do in the comedy realm?
I would venture into comedy. I think it would have to be the right one. Comedies are so specific, and I just, I think that it would be just too, a little too confident or arrogant to say that I think I was funny. I would have to really just put all of my faith in the writer and just have them have like the best material. But I think it'd be interesting. And with me, I don't venture out like I'm only gonna do dramas
that's who I am.
Or horror. Like that's my only thing. I think if the character is interesting, if there's something to play, and if the story is kind of unique and it's something I feel I can be an asset to, then I'd always be open to it.
And now you've worked with, Viola Davis and Denzel Washington. Who would you really like to work with that you haven't yet?
Probably Joaquin Phoenix. I would have loved to work with Philip Seymour Hoffman in his time. There's so many There's so many, it's hard to pick, but I like the first one that came to my mind was maybe Joaquin Phoenix, because he's just a really interesting actor. Javier Bardem, I got a chance to work with in Mother, but on a grander scale, I'd like to work with him again.
And last little question, if you could just tell everyone watching why they should watch Overlord in one word. Or hashtag.
Oh, man. Hashtag, see what I did there? Hashtag, one word though? God, that's hard.
If it's a hashtag, you can make it longer.
Oh, okay. Hashtag wild ride, I guess. I think that this is like a really original story. I think it's great to experience in the theater, but if you have a home theater, it's awesome. And it's one of those stories that people can get settled in. This is what it's supposed to be. And then all of a sudden, in great Bad Robot fashion, turns into something else. And I think that always makes for like a good night watching movies, so.
Well, thank you so much for your
Likewise.
time. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, thank you so much.